Hello once more. I'm Alex.
I'm Linn.
And if you're watching this, you've made it to episode 3 of our Interrail series, where in this episode we'll be once again in Prague, but doing some other stuff that we couldn't fit into the first episode. So, yeah, you'll see a sunrise, a few walks, some nice views. So, we hope you enjoy this as much as I enjoyed making it, kind of. Okay, it's currently 4:30 in the morning, um, 21 degrees, which is a lot nicer than the forecasted high of 33 today. We're currently waiting at the tram stop for tram number 17, which will take us into the city so we can go see the sunrise because YouTubers told Linn to do it.
Correct.
So we're gonna go see the sunrise from the St. Charles Bridge, which we saw yesterday. Tram arriving. We're not taking that one. Early morning tram riders, which will be us too, momentarily. Alright.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's enough for now. I'll give an update from the bridge. We began our second full day in Prague by getting on the early morning tram heading towards the bridge. As you can see in the video, we're validating our tickets, but as we would later learn, we shouldn't have done that because you only need to validate it once you get in the beginning. We're not used to using those tickets since someone could perceive them as being a bit old fashioned, so we didn't get the memo. Thankfully, we weren't checked during our time in Prague, otherwise, they probably would have thought we were really dumb. Anyways, we continued down and we made it to the bridge, and there weren't too many people around, but we did encounter some kids who, as I point out in the video, we were pretty sure they stayed up all night because it was, maybe around quarter to five at that point, and they were still up. Looked like they had been partying or something, and we actually ended up passing them twice because we had headed past them thinking that we were going the right way to the bridge, but in fact we needed to go the other way, so we had to waddle back through them. But they probably didn't even notice us. Eventually, we did make it to the bridge, which was substantially less crowded than it was in the previous days. And it was quite a nice change of pace, I would say. Any comments, Lynn?
Mm, the weather was nice.
Yeah, it was also a lot cooler because the sun hadn't risen yet, which made a huge difference compared to when we were out earlier in the day or earlier in the previous day. But obviously, that would change later. Nevertheless, it was still serene. It was a nice breath of fresh air in an otherwise bustling city, you could say. But you'll see our full coverage of it coming up. So we're here at the bridge for sunrise. And there's something over there, but I don't see the sun coming up. It's about time for the sun to officially rise. It's not as empty as the YouTuber claimed it to be, but a lot emptier than um, when we were here yesterday. So I guess chalk that up as a win. Should I just film or? We've been here half an hour almost, and now we can finally sort of see the sun coming over the buildings. Always remember that, what it says on the weather website is when it comes actually over the horizon, but it does not take into account buildings or mountains. Um,
Visual obstructions.
Visual obstructions. But it's pretty and not too many people around, so
Beat the crowd.
yeah, well, we've already been here once, and after this I don't think we need to come back this trip at least. Yeah, then you can see the Prague Castle over there, the statues, the dude over there taking pictures of every statue. Every.
I was standing over by one. He just comes up and takes it. I'm like,
Yeah, see? He agrees.
Children would have probably gotten more out of like reading about the statue.
You can do that later. I think that pigeon's trying to get with that other pigeon. Let me holler at you, baby. You see him? And he's got his neck all puffed out. Let me holler at you. Let me holler at you, girl. Yeah, there's the sun. Maybe he's done.
Hallelujah.
There it is. Here comes the sun. Here, Linn, go touch that. I'll touch it too. Pet the dog. Good doggy. Following our YouTube encouraged foray into the Prague early morning scene to see a sunrise, which was pretty, we decided to head up to Prague Castle since it was still early and we didn't really have much else to do. We knew the castle would be closed, but we figured we could, in the meantime, walk through the city streets and get a feel for other parts on the other side of the river, which, in retrospect, was a very good decision because even though at times it was a bit difficult to navigate, as you see, thankfully I had Google Maps to help guide me. We did find the staircase we needed to arrive at in order to actually get to the castle and made it up there without incident and actually had a very you'd say unexpected view from the top, or at least a good looking one, um, which made the climb all the more worthwhile. You get quite a view from here. Shit. Oh, yeah, that's a crazy part. Yeah, this is the right call. For those wondering about Prague Castle, as you can tell by the name, it was previously a residence of Bohemian kings and emperors of the Holy Roman Empire, actually, but nowadays is used as a residence for the president of the Czech Republic, who is a figurehead, despite the name president. And obviously, we didn't get to see him. And the castle was closed, but you are still freely allowed to roam outside of opening hours, which we took advantage of because we weren't super interested in coming back to go look around in the castle, anyways. But we made it there, and we did need a bit of rest. In spite of getting some Red Bull to help energize us, we did need to sit down for a bit and just sort of think about our next steps because it was still quite early and we weren't entirely sure what we wanted to do for the rest of the day. But thankfully, we had some nice surroundings in which to think. And once we knew where we were going or had a general idea, we started making our way down the hill, going a different way, ideally working our way towards the trams and public transport to help get us back to the hotel because we were still early enough to get the hotel breakfast, which we did decide to get. But obviously, we had to get down first, and the walk down was also very pretty as well. It did take a bit of navigating to get through the cobblestone streets and such, but once we did make it through, it was pretty smooth sailing, and there was a metro station down at the bottom as well as some trams. So we were able to make it down and enjoy our way doing it. What were your thoughts on the matter then?
I like that the open space and not a lot of people.
Yeah, I do have to say it's not as if Prague is terrible, but we're not necessarily people. I would say so. The
Mm,
fewer people, the better. Especially you know in cities as popular and as beautiful as Prague. So if you are there, I wouldn't say it would necessarily be worth getting up at 4:30 to see the sunrise. You can if you want to, but definitely some early morning roaming. I could recommend wholeheartedly.
agree.
Yeah. There's the bridge. So we head this way and hop on the tram. Having had our fill of early morning Prague, we, as I mentioned, decided that it would be best to head back to the hotel and get some breakfast so we could recharge a bit and get ready for the rest of the day. And one thing I loved about Prague were the trams everywhere. I mean, I don't know what it is about trams, but they're just, city planners may think they're just buses on tracks, but to me, they're so much more. And it was so cool being in a place with so many. For those of you who know me, you know I like hockey. So, what's a better souvenir from a hockey crazy country than a shirt of the national team? And to get that shirt, we decided to head to a mall further out.
Then we came into work here, and then we need to go. Alright, we're up here.
No thanks to that outdated shopping mall map, we did find the store and I did get my shirt.
Alright, so we just left the mall because I wanted to get some Czech hockey gear. I got a t-shirt, that was cool. But now we're going to take the tram back to the National Museum. Tram and metro. It's slowly starting to heat up now that the sun is out. It was nice in the morning. Well, it's still the morning. It was nice in the early morning. Now not as nice. But we'll go to the National Museum and then maybe some stuff afterwards. But try not to do too much. We've already done a fair amount, and it's not even 11. It's not even 10:30. Okay. Well, we gotta go catch a tram.
Oh, but
We're in the Czech National Museum now. Linn's climbing up. The old building's quite pretty. The new building, not so much. And the layout of the history of the 20th century in Czechia exhibition was awful. So hopefully this is better. More of the National Museum. The building is gorgeous.
you're standing in the middle.
Supposed to. They have the Hall of Minerals and Meteorites. You can look out here. You can see down the main drag there. That was where we were yesterday.
Here are some photos I took inside the Czech National Museum. I didn't think it was super impressive, so we only have a few here, but there were some cool things in there for sure. After the museum, we decided to head back to the Jewish Quarter because we actually bought a ticket which was valid for entry in a bunch of different locations forming the Jewish Museum, several synagogues and such. And we decided, well, it's still valid for what, 6 more hours, so might as well get our money's worth. So we headed to the Spanish synagogue, which itself was also a treasure trove of facts and artifacts and architecture and history of Prague's Jewish community. So that was nice.
The arduous march to the restaurant. This is steep.
I haven't done a video vlog in a while.
That's what I'm doing now.
What did we do Thursday?
What did we do? I guess went back to the Jewish Quarter.
The museum.
Yeah, the National Museum. And kind of lame. But I mentioned some stuff. But yeah, now we'll go try this place that claims to make vegetarian versions of Czech dishes. We'll see.
The food was really good, and I was impressed how they were able to make vegetarian versions of traditional Czech dishes.
Okay, so it's about 8 p.m. now. No, 8:30. We just finished eating at a Czech restaurant which makes vegetarian food. Traditional Czech dishes with vegetarian food. It was very good. Had a beer with it, then had a lemonade. She found it, so credit to her. Now we're going to go to a hypermarket at Tesco to just see if there's any Czech stuff we want to get before we go, or any British stuff because it is British. So we're just waiting for the tram now.
The food is cheap
Yeah,
if
the
you
food
go
was-
to the local places, not
Yeah,
the touristy places.
Yeah, it was like what, $10 for a main meal? That's insane. Our main dish, and then the beer was like $5 for half a
Jag
liter.
tror det var mindre. Det var 45.
Yeah, okay, so no, it was 60.
Nej, det var 60.
65 so. But yeah, either way.
Det var billigt.
Yeah, don't buy stuff in the main. Don't go to the restaurants in the main square. Go out here. You had to go up a hill, and maybe the tram takes a while, but just buy the public transport ticket. We would say, and it's nice that people with dietary restrictions can also enjoy the Czech food. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, maybe film again later. But we'll be going to Vienna tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yay, but also kind of sad because it's nice here. Okay. Oh, here we go. Get on the tram now. These are some deep metro stations. So nobody can slide down. The Prague Metro had some pretty impressive stations. Final thoughts on Prague?
I liked it.
Yeah, it was neat. Intimidating at first because of the language barrier, but once we got used to it and got to explore it without being overwhelmed by masses of people, it was very enjoyable. So, definitely recommend. So, once again, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode where we head to Vienna.